Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle,
Hey, everybody, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz here on this Wednesday. Brett and JJ here with you for your lunch hour, and would love to hear from you. If you got a comment or question, 256-234-6221 is our number always, but you can tune in on social media. A lot of people do that, and comment away on Facebook, Sports Blitz, that's Sports with a Z. I want to thank our sponsors here, our three lead corporate partners here, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction, Central Alabama Community College, for being our partners here on the show. Lots to talk about here today on the Auburn Blitz. We mentioned a little bit of this yesterday with Keontae Scott coming back for his fifth year, which is a big deal. Probably one of the best players on the team this past year, nursing some injuries on and off. But we'll get him back in that secondary, which will be huge for Auburn. Some stories other than outside of football. Obviously, we'll talk recruiting and continue to talk about some of these prospects that Auburn hopes to land maybe by next Wednesday. If not, carry on the recruiting process into February. We know the watch on Ryan Williams will continue all the way up until February. He won't sign with Alabama this coming up Wednesday, a week from today. So he'll continue to make visits. I know he'll be in Auburn Sunday. I know he plans to visit Texas, LSU, and maybe Georgia, I think, was the other school that he plans on taking visits to, official visits, before he makes a decision. Reclassifying JJ from the 25 to the 24 class. He earned a spot on the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star roster, so they invited him, and rightfully so. So he joined the team yesterday in preparation for the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Classic, which we will have on the AHSAA radio network, so make sure you tune in on Saturday. We'll also have the North-South game on Friday. Man, these things are back-to-back this year, man.
Yeah, just happening quick.
Yeah, get them knocked out. But we'll be following that. A lot of potential, or actually verbal commits for Auburn. We'll watch them and see how they do in both of those games. I know Auburn has several players in both. Interesting story. I hate to talk about negative stuff, but Dan Wolken, I guess, has something out
from CBS.
Yeah, I think so. Whoever, you know, he seems to have it out for Bruce Pearl. You can go back and look at his Twitter feed, and you know he just hammers him, you know, pretty much consistently over the last 3 or 4 years. Well, obviously an article came out, the USA Today, talking about a potential in Auburn spying on opponents back in 17 and 18 in Neville Arena during opponents' practices, and it led to a conversation in a coaches meeting in 2018 when nobody was formally accused, but there were some mentions of things going on, and they didn't necessarily name a school, but an SEC spokesperson said, there were several programs that isolated one school, and without saying it, talking to some other people, it was Auburn that they were referring to, and they go back, and in 2019 they changed the procedure. Opposing video guys have to get with home video guys, and the home video guys have to let them know where any cameras possibly are, and they have to show them that they're shut off with a lens on top of them. Not just cut off; you got to have the lens on top. Yeah. So there was a change in the policy manual there. Nothing really ever came out of that, but here we are in 23, and Dan Wolken is doing some kind of 10-part series on spying and cheating in sports.
Oh, I guess it's kind of because it's a hot topic right now with the Michigan thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah. But that's again, Bruce Pearl. You can go back and look at the tweets and stuff, and he just takes personal shots at him, not just on sports stuff like one that Justin Hokanson posted. You look at it, says he He said Bruce Pearl's Twitter feed is regularly a font of right-wing policies, but it's certainly an interesting choice to see a college coach who recruits Georgia vigorously promote a speech that explicitly endorsed the controversial voting law in the state. And, there's tweets like that constantly pounding. So there's obviously a bias there. Look, I know the guy's supposed to report, and that's what journalists, I guess, do nowadays. Are there any journalists out there?
Well, I think right now, I don't know that journalism necessarily in sports is a thing, because right now it's not about journalism. It's about clicks.
It is.
And look, we're guilty of it here. I mean, look, we're a media company, man. We post stuff to get clicks and to get eyeballs, right? I mean, that is right now.
It's the world we live in.
It's the world we live in. Now there are still some journalists out there. They exist more in the hard news area, but
right.
in terms of sports, it's not really journalism anymore. It's all entertainment. It's infotainment kind of stuff.
Well, back in the day, and whatever that day is, how far you want to go back, journalists were held accountable. You put something out there in print. Obviously, this didn't exist. This is pre-social media.
Yeah.
You put something out in print, you were responsible for that. So there had to be some research done. There had to be some things done, or else you were held accountable. You had to write a retraction. Of course, nobody ever reads the retraction, right? They only remember the story. But there was a degree of responsibility behind what you wrote. You couldn't just throw it out there and hope it stuck, and then if it didn't, you go, oh, well, I'm just going to move on to the next thing. Yeah. That's the way it is now. You and I, JJ, could get off the show, or we could break some kind of news on here based on some type of rumor, and we just start that firestorm. And people just start retweeting it and recopying it and talking about it, and it doesn't come true. Then you and I get back out here a week from today and go, okay, well, I'm sorry about that.
You see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
You see it especially in things like coaching searches or coaches who are on the verge of being fired.
It's notorious for coaching
or something
searches.
like that.
Yeah.
But, somebody will go, hey, I'm told that so-and-so was in – College Station today,
right.
interviewing. No, you're not. No, you weren't told that. You're just saying that because somebody's going to click the video or click the post or like the post or comment, and that's going to help you. So there's a lot of time. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know how you do it. There are certain guys on, whether it's podcasts or on YouTube or wherever, that I will listen to, right?
Oh, yeah.
Who I think
credible.
Fox Sports. I think Joel Klatt does an outstanding job of, commentating and reporting on the stuff he hears around college football. I think there's some Reese Davis. I think does a great job of not being that guy. I think Herb Street. If Herb Street tells you that somebody told him something, somebody probably told him something.
Right.
But there's a lot of these guys, especially on the podcast side and on the YouTube side, that are pretty much just giving you opinions. And
you don't know
in a controversial way to get you to click that link.
Well, there's just so much out there. It's hard to sift through what's right and what's true and what's not true. Like especially with recruiting right now. I mean, you see a bunch of, Auburn and Alabama are in battle for several guys here in the state.
Ryan Williams countdown. The countdown, right?
Correct.
How many times did we hear? Well, the countdown is him flipping his commitment.
Right. Well,
it was reclassification.
Right.
But people talked about it like they knew. Oh, that's what it is. I mean, I've got a source told me.
Right.
And it's like, no, you don't.
And it was funny the other day, like Perry Thompson. Some guy was on there saying, I know he's about to flip back to Alabama. He was in Tuscaloosa, and he immediately responded, "Is like, man, I've been at home all weekend."
Right.
Like, dude, I am not anywhere close to Tuscaloosa, and it's just. But again, both sides creating fake Twitter accounts, saying things about the other, and trying to milk it. And it's like, man, you just want to shut it all down. But, Dan Wolken, he does work for, I believe, like you said, maybe CBS or whoever, puts this out as part of a 10-part series. And this article details, what opposing teams and anonymous coaches. And I always hate that. And it said in the article that Frank Martin, who I don't know, I think he's pretty good friends with Bruce Pearl, have a good relationship, that when he was coaching in South Carolina at that time, people kept saying stuff, but wouldn't really point to who it was. And he said he finally just fired off, quit beating around the bush and call somebody out if you're going to call them out.
Yeah.
If not, shut up. You know?
And there's, and look, as far as all right, there's a difference now in cheating in sports and in other certain. There's a reason why football teams have traditionally, and before a big game or in certain times of practice, have closed practices.
Right.
There's a reason, right? They're putting some stuff in they don't want the world to know about, and it's okay to do that. But there's always been teams that, hey, by the way, you live over there. If you get a chance to see something,
Yeah, that's right.
If you see him working on something, let me know.
Right.
If you see him in the wishbone, hey, heads up, brother. You know what I mean? So there's always been that. The difference in this Michigan thing and the difference in the Astros thing is it was institutionalized.
Right.
It was. I don't care. Jim Harbaugh can say whatever he wants to. It was an organized, institutional cheating process. Same thing with the Astros. It was an organized, institutional cheating process. It wasn't, hey, if you see something, say something.
Well, and I think we've gotten to this point with Spygate, with the Patriots, and now Michigan, and in this article here, if something was done, somebody in the organization knew it was going on.
No question.
This was not some guy just, hey, I'm going to do this and tell them. I'm going to tell everybody about it. But just to kind of follow up, AL.com did a follow-up article on this article, said, the article cites several anonymous sources who claim the topic was brought up during that SEC coaches meeting following the 17-18 season. Neither the article nor the accusations offer any concrete proof that Auburn ever did anything wrong. So, I mean, is it a bunch of smoke? Is it a bunch of clicks? Is it a conversation that happened in 2018 that we're bringing up in 2023 because Dan Wolken's got it out for Bruce Pearl and he don't like him? I don't know. Maybe so.
Could be.
Could be something to that.
Or is it just filler because I need to do a 10-part story?
Yeah, I've started this 10-part series.
I need something to fill. 10-part story is hard to do. So
yeah. But anyway, just had to address it because it came out, it broke, and we're Auburn show, and I'm sure that won't be the end of it. And I'm sure we'll hear more. But Bruce Pearl, I think, tweeted out, said, "So I'm assuming you're not a fan." Today kind of retweeted back to, so, here we go. So I'm sure it's not dead by any stretch. But up against the break, stay tuned. Just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Let's get serious. Let's get Arctic Air serious. You want your car and truck to live longer, don't you? Well, it's about maintenance. Same thing with Arctic Air. You see the number at the bottom of the screen? Call them right now. Let me tell you something. You want to be comfortable? We all want to be comfortable.
Here's an important notice for business owners from Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Purchase a new vehicle, get a new tax deduction. You may be able to immediately write off up to 100% of the full purchase price of eligible new Chevrolet and GMC vehicles purchased this year for business use. You could write off 100%. This offer ends December 31st. You must act now. Thousands of dollars in discounts right now at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. Business owners, get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Here, 45 minutes left in today's show. Again, thanks to J. Smith Construction, Russell Do-It Center, and Building Supply Stores at Central Alabama Community College for their partnership on the program. Let's go to the phone lines and welcome in Terry. Terry, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
It's good, man.
I wonder if you guys knew of any television availability for that Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game.
Television availability, it's probably, well, I texted Vincent this morning. I don't know if it's on PBS or if it's going to be on WOTM, but it's going to be on one of the two of these. It will either be on this channel here that everybody's watching on 701 and 80, or it will be on APT.
Okay. Now, Brad, just out of curiosity, you and JJ, what are your thoughts on Ryan Williams? And where do you think he's end up? And don't you think it makes Alabama fans kind of nervous? He's waiting till February.
Well, I do think Auburn's got a legit chance at him now. I think he's been committed to Alabama since 2022. There's no reason for him to come out and decommit at this point. He reclassified, which a lot of people felt like was big for Auburn for whatever reason. Is what the talk was. But you know, Auburn's getting a late start on this kid. Now, his dad played at Auburn. I don't know how much that plays into it at all. I think it's going to come down to money and who he's playing with and the right feel and all that. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, it's hard to flip a guy that's been that committed, but we've seen it happen in the past. He'll be in Auburn on Sunday. He's going to be around Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons and the Bryce Kane and the rest of those guys, and Perry Thompson, who he's close friends with. You know, Alabama's still going to put on a show, and they're still going to show him exactly why he's committed to them to begin with, that they've been winning championships, and, you know, they're the standard in college football. So, but I do think that Auburn has probably moved into maybe a 50-50 split with Alabama on this thing. It's just going to be – it's going to come down to money, and it's going to come down to where he feels most comfortable.
My guess is that unless there's an outlier out there, like a Texas, who's going to come in and offer him double the money everybody else does. Right. My guess is the money's going to be about equal because, you know, you're not going to, if you're Alabama, you're not going to let Auburn outbid you, right?
Right.
Same thing with Auburn. So I think the money's going to come down to equal. I think, you know, if I'm Alabama, I'm showing him film of Devontae Smith because he's built just like him. You know, I'm going, look, yeah, win a Heisman, win a championship. You know, here we go.
Right.
But I don't know. It's like you said, Brett. When a kid's been committed for so long, it's unusual to lose them, but it does happen.
Well, JJ, Brett, I don't know where he's going to go, but I know it's sad that it has to come down to money for these high school kids.
Well, that's where it is now.
Just about where they want to go.
Yeah,
I mean, it's no different than one of us. I mean, if it was one of us, they wanted one of us to come to work for them. It would some of the decision would come down to money.
No doubt.
I didn't say it was wrong. I just said it was sad.
No, well, it is. I think the whole Terry, I'm going to be honest with you. I had this kind of self-assessment coming back from Tuscaloosa this weekend and talking about all these kids. Man, I've come to the realization that I pull for a pro team now. And that's just the way it is because and we've talked about this for a long time, and, you know, we can fight it, and I don't like it. I don't like the structure. I think they've missed the mark on this thing, and everybody's getting so much money, and you got a lot of people getting paid that haven't done a single thing yet. But at the end of the day, this is the system everybody wanted, I think. And unfortunately, when it got here, now everybody doesn't want it. So, but
guys, I want your I'll hang up and listen. But do y'all think LeBron James will come here to watch his kid this weekend?
I doubt it. He was going to come and watch. He was going to watch the first game of Bronny being back, and he's already played a game, and he was in attendance for that. I would be surprised if he came out to Auburn to watch.
I thought he might be hanging out with Charles Barkley, but you never know.
Well,
appreciate it, guys.
All right, thank you, Terry. I don't think Charles Barkley's a big fan of LeBron. So
yeah, on the like I said, on the NIL thing, until it develops some kind of structure.
We're just both pulling for pro teams. I mean, you're paying players to come play for your team, and that's no different than NFL. Now, I mean, when you hear of kids making more money, and that's the case for some of these schools, some of these kids are getting paid more than they would if they went to the pros. I mean, Caleb Williams this past year decided he was going to come back to USC because he felt like he could get paid more money at USC than he could going in the draft. You look at Marvin Harrison Jr. at Ohio State right now. Rumors are upwards of $20 to $25 million for him to stay one more year at Ohio State.
Right.
He's not going to get that in a rookie contract in the NFL. No. So why would – and he's still going – unless he gets hurt, but he's still going to get first-round pay next year. So why not come grab the 20 to 25 here at Ohio State for one more year?
Yeah, I would.
I mean, this is what you're battling if you're coaches. It's a new world. And I'll say this, and this thing about Nick Saban gets brought up all the time, JJ, and, you know, the man's, 71, 72 years old?
That's right.
Okay, so – at some point in time, with all this new structure and having to do this all the time, part of the reason he got out of the NFL is because he liked college football so much more than the NFL. Well, now that it's NFL light and he's where he is, I mean, I don't know how much longer that age coach wants to put up with this kind of stuff. Now, the 46-year-old coaches out there that have 30 years probably left or 25 years to coach, different story. But Hugh Freeze is the same age as Nick Saban was when he started in 2007.
Right.
So he knows the difference. He just bought a big house in Florida. I mean, the time is coming to the end soon. I don't know when that is, but all this kind of expedites it, in my opinion.
And, you know, and he always said that one thing he didn't like was that he couldn't determine who his players were. And in Miami, right? He couldn't, like, it all goes back to really one player. He wanted Drew Brees.
That's right.
They gave him Dante Culpepper.
That's it.
It just came down to
It didn't work out too well.
No.
They should have listened to him. He probably would have stayed in Miami. And we'd all been real happy, except for y'all. So, up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
L&G Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial building. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Lake Martin Mobile Detailing is the #1 auto and boat detailing company in Central Alabama. Don't trust your boat or vehicle to just anybody. Hire the professionals. Top-of-the-line ceramic coating, detailing, gel coat restoration, and paint correction gives you the options to take care of your vehicle the right way. Located at 702 McCarty Road in Dable, Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have you riding in style. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or Superior Automotive and Boat Detailing.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through the program, we'll take your calls, 256-234-6221. Your comments coming in. Ty said, saw where Marcus Harris declared for the NFL draft. I wonder if he'll play in the bowl game. Don't know. I know Jalen Simpson is going to play in the bowl game. I know that, several guys have come out and said they're going to play. Don't know if Marcus Harris will or not.
I think it's smart to play in the bowl game. That is one area where, now look, if you're a consensus top 5 pick, and then right, maybe I see sitting out a minor bowl game. But I mean, I think you take a look last year at Bryce Young and Will Anderson. They didn't have to play in that bowl game. They were going to be top 5 picks anyway.
That's right.
But the argument is that you put something else of value on tape for the scouts to watch, right?
That's right.
And if you're not a consensus top 5, you might need that extra film. You're going to be playing a competitive game. you got a chance to put something on tape that, maybe it convinces a guy to take you mid-third instead of mid-fourth.
Yeah, I see a positive for Marcus Harris to play in the game. Jim said, does Nick retire after winning a national championship this year? JJ, you and I were talking about that off the air. I think it's a perfect opportunity for him to end on a extremely big and illustrious high note.
Yeah, it's my opinion that when Nick Saban goes, it's going to be sudden. It's not going to be. He's not going to do the farewell tour thing,
right?
Because he would consider that a distraction, and he doesn't hate anything like he hates a distraction. So I don't think he would ever do I'm retiring at the end of this year, and then you do the farewell tour thing. To me, it's there's going to be a press conference. It's going to be quick, but yeah. I think, you and I were talking during the break, I think if you win a national championship with this team that most people, myself included, thought would lose at least 2, if not 3 or 4 games.
Right.
At the beginning of the year.
And they could have easily lost 2 or 3 or 4 games.
That's a hell of a walk-off. You know what I mean?
It is.
That's the way to walk away right there.
Yeah, you've overachieved, I think. Again, this team's still loaded with 4- and 5-star players, so let's not diminish the fact that it's not – an Alabama team that we've seen in the past, an 08 or an 09 or maybe even a 20, that maybe one of the most talented Alabama teams not to win a championship was 2010.
Yeah.
And, just a loaded team. But it's not one of those teams. It was a team that had quarterback controversy leading into the season. I think all the way up into week 4, you still didn't know who it was.
Yep.
You were sticking with Jalen Milroe because he was the lesser of all the evils, but, it's worked out. Gabe said, I doubt he will retire, and I don't think he's going to win another one either. So, it's going to get tougher. I think the 12-team playoff makes it tougher. You got to go through a few more rounds. And every time you go out there on the field, it diminishes your chances because you got to play another opponent. And on any given game, especially when you get to the playoffs, you can be flat. And the other team can be playing over their head, and they can beat you. So I don't know. Maybe Nick Saban wins another one. Maybe he doesn't.
I don't know if he does or not. Obviously he could, depending on how long. I think if he's back next year, obviously Jalen Milroe is back next year. You got your quarterback situation's kind of solved, and they'll be in the mix. Here's my question: will there ever be another undefeated SEC team?
Because, not looking at these schedules.
This league's tough enough as it is.
But now it's rough.
And
it's
now
real rough.
You had Oklahoma and Texas, and I don't think Oklahoma and Texas are ready for a week in, week out SEC schedule yet either. But they're still.
But you're still having to prep.
That's still a very good competitor.
Like I'll give an example. Like Georgia plays Alabama the week before they play Auburn this year.
Yeah.
I think Alabama plays Oklahoma the week before they play Auburn.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked down and seen who Auburn plays, vice versa, but that's what you got to do. Look at Florida's schedule.
Yeah.
Are they going to win 3 games this year? I mean, it is like the all-star lineup of teams every week for them.
And then we're talking about maybe the following year we go to 9 conference games.
No, I'm going to side with no. I'm going to side with it's just too difficult to navigate against. And you look at Alabama this year, a 3-point win against Arkansas, a last-second, throw up in the end zone prayer to beat Auburn, who was 6-6.
Yeah.
There's just too much to have to overcome week in and week out. You're not going to play at your top level every week.
That's the thing. You go against a 4-4 SEC team on the road, and there's going to be 80,000 people there.
You holding on for dear life in a lot of those situations.
Arkansas, can't win a conference game, and then all of a sudden they go blow out Florida by 30. You
just don't know what you're going to get a lot of times.
Kentucky, a little bit of a disappointing season for Kentucky. Well, Louisville was in the ACC championship game and got roasted by the Wildcats. So it's a different animal altogether. Look, the Big Ten's getting better too. I get it.
They'll get Florida State.
But the back end of the Big Ten is not what the back end of the SEC is.
No, I'm with you. I just think that you look at Again, it's not because Oklahoma and Texas are coming in and we're going, oh, nobody can make that run anymore. It's just the layout of the schedules too, the moving of around of teams. I mean, you look at Alabama having to play Auburn, and then you add a Georgia and an LSU, and a Texas A&M, and then either Texas or Oklahoma. It's every week, man. It's a meat grinder.
Yeah, the SEC is becoming an NFL model of. Let me get to 9-7, man. Let me get to 10-6.
I remember when, Pat Dye was at Auburn and Amen Corner was Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Yeah. And you were like, man, that's a gauntlet, those three teams. Yeah. Crap, that's every week now. Yeah. It seems like it's like you're playing Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss in a row. Yeah. It's like, well, congratulations, Ole Miss. On the road is your week off. Yeah. That's your cupcake of the four. I mean, every schedule is going to be brutal in this league. And, seriously, we're talking about Florida, and all jokes aside, a prominent top program. You're looking at a schedule they've got this year, and I know they've been down, but you look at Florida overall history-wise, man, they're looking at a 3-win, 4-win team next year if something doesn't change. Yeah. And maybe for the foreseeable future.
And if you're Florida, there's always hope because you got, you can't throw a rock in Gainesville and not hit a 5-star high school kid somewhere.
Exactly.
But you got to get somebody in there that can get them in.
No kidding.
And coach them when they get them.
Rough trails ahead for all the SEC teams moving forward. Up against the break, stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Warning, the following Zaxby's ad contains content that may be upsetting to Philadelphians. Fried chicken on a Philly. Finally, the Philly done right. Zaxby's Fried Chicken Philly.
Woo, saucy! Zaxby's. Zaxby's new Philly. The garlic aioli, grilled peppers and onions with melty cheese make it a Philly, but the chicken makes it Zaxby's. Try it fried or grilled. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats, with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Couple segments left in today's show. Some other comments. Ty said, why does Auburn only have 11 games on the schedule? It's not finished. Auburn's got to add one more non-conference game to the schedule. But, you and I were talking off the air, going through all these schedules. Man, it's weird if you're an Auburn fan to look down and no Ole Miss, no LSU, no Mississippi State. Yeah. Not that you got a Missouri, a Kentucky, Vanderbilt, A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia on there. But, it's just weird when you look down and you see a team like an LSU that's a semi-rival for Auburn. It's always a fun game going to Baton Rouge or coming to Auburn, and you don't get a shot at them anymore. Yeah. You don't play them, but on a rotator now. It'll have to be a rotating basis to get them in. So, same for Alabama, with Alabama, they're going to keep Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn, it looks like. Right. With Auburn, they're going to keep Georgia and Alabama, it looks like. Right. You got to – to me, there's some – the Alabama-LSU game, I know to me, it's a television rivalry, right? Nationwide, it's a rivalry. I get it. Right. But I don't think LSU and Alabama sit around worrying about each other that much. I don't either. It's Auburn and Tennessee. You know what I mean? Correct. And just about every team in the league has two teams that they really want to play. Absolutely. And I think you could preserve all the historic rivalries that way. There's two, keep two. Yeah, I totally agree. But, yeah, that's the reason their ties. They just haven't got that fourth non-conference game. Yeah. There'll be a Mercer or somebody. Right, it'll be added in there, but it's not that big a deal. Let's shift over and talk some Auburn basketball. Auburn taking on UNC Asheville tonight. Up in North Alabama and Huntsville. And, Bruce Pearl basically talking about coming off a big win against Indiana where they scored 104 points, just guarding against a letdown, making sure that they don't overlook this team in preparation for Sunday when you got USC and Bronny James coming in and it's going to be a big environment and all this kind of stuff. Just harken back to a few days prior to Indiana where you went to App State and played about as bad as you could possibly play. And then you come back and go to Atlanta and you play about as good as you can possibly play. So what's the real Auburn team? I think we all hope that it's more toward the team that showed up in Atlanta with, Holloway, scoring 24, Jalen Williams scoring 24, really getting it done that way from outside. And but you're taking on a team that you got to have full attention to. I think I'm one of those people, and I know there's a lot of us out there.
I usually don't flip the script to basketball until conference play starts.
That's right.
And in the preseason games are nice, especially when they're big games, right? Well, I watched Alabama and Purdue.
Of course, yeah. It's a tournament game.
And I thought you started to see kind of the ceiling for Alabama in that game because they're right there with them till the end, just could not stop.
Nobody stops eating.
Nobody, and just
Lurch in there in the middle.
Yeah, I mean maybe if you still had Bediako in there, it gives you a little bit of a puncher's chance. But so you start to see, and that's what I think you see with Auburn and every other team in that preseason. You'll have games where you see the ceiling, how good can they be?
Right.
And you'll have games where maybe you see the floor, how bad.
Well, we've seen that in a week for Auburn.
Right.
I mean, seriously, you've seen the floor, I hope, at App State where you couldn't throw it in Ocean.
Yeah.
And it seemed like everything, you turned the ball over to the flip side where you play a very good Indiana team at 7-1. You couldn't miss from outside, and you only turned the ball over 3 times the entire game.
Yeah.
And your assist to turnover ratio was off the chart. So
you get into conference play, and maybe you can settle into your rhythm of being a consistent whatever you are, right?
Bruce Pearl said this is a trap game. He said we just beat a really good Indiana team. We go play Asheville and Huntsville, then Southern Cal coming in on Sunday. We've talked to the team about it. We lost to App State, not because we weren't prepared, not because we weren't ready. You just come in and you play flat. You've got to be a more consistent approach to every game type team. That's what it takes to win in the tournament.
Yeah.
You can't come out and burn the nets up one game and come out and be cold as ice, or you'll go home.
That's right.
That's the life of this sport in basketball. And you're trying to find, like you said, who you're going to be night in and night out, and how mature this team can be. The positive, if you're looking at it from this past Saturday, is Janai Broome is by far the best player on Auburn's team. He had 2 points.
Yeah.
And he still scored 104.
And I think, too, and Pearl's talked about this a little bit, too, there are going to be nights when shots are going to fall. There are going to be nights when they don't fall. But you can control your defensive effort at all times.
No doubt.
You can control that. And if your defensive effort's going to be there consistently, every game, then, you're going to give yourself a chance to win a lot more than you lose.
This UNC Asheville team, I mean, Auburn's a big favorite in this game, but the Bulldogs won 27 games last year. This is the most in program history. They were picked to win their league once again this year. This is a team that came in with high expectations, but they've already lost 5 games and isn't projected now to be as successful. But again, you can't look at that. I mean, you got to look at what they were looking at before this.
Yeah.
Going to win the conference, won 27 games. That's how I'd approach it going into this game.
Tournament team.
Neutral site.
Yep.
So, of course, it'll be a lot of Auburn people up in Huntsville obviously going to be attending that game. But that game will be tonight. And we'll have those results and talk about that again tomorrow. Up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
J.A. Smith Construction is your trusted choice for construction site clearing and grading for new home construction, underground utilities and site work, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event, from tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here. On today's show, again, thanks to J. Smith Construction, residential and commercial, excavating and clearing, and no job's too big or small for J. Smith Construction. Make sure you call on them, man. They are busy, up and down 280. There are projects going on everywhere. But call on J. Smith Construction for all your site prep needs. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores with 9 locations here in Central Alabama for all your home improvement needs, building supply, supplies, home decor. They've got it. They'll take care of you. And Central Alabama Community College right here in Alexander City, also in Childersburg, Talladega, and Prattville. Go to Central Alabama Community College. Get your 2-year degree, go to work, or transfer to a 4-year college and finish up with your bachelor's degree. It's a great place to start and get your education and get along down the road on your educational path. Final segment here. We'll hit some birthdays up here in a little bit. But the Atlanta Braves, and this, you and Andy always have a little Braves segment on here. Some interesting deals being made in the offseason. Nothing I'm overly excited about.
No, but they are in on a couple of potential frontline starting pitchers. It hasn't happened yet. But you do keep hearing, rumors that they're in on this guy or in on that guy.
Right.
And I think that's really, to me, that's the number one goal of this offseason is to supplement your order.
Got to get your take on Shohei Ohtani, that deal with the Dodgers, the deferment. So he's going to get about $3 million a year, and then the rest of it's going to get deferred, $2 million a year, and it's going to be deferred.
All right, I think what I'm going to say is I don't know if it's controversial or not. I don't think Shohei Ohtani wins you a World Series.
I don't either.
Now, He's going.
I thought the same thing.
He's going to put butts in the seats and eyeballs on the screen, man. I mean, there's no question.
And they're $550 million in the hole with LA Dodgers, so that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, but to me, Shohei Ohtani he's going to be your number 2 pitcher probably.
When he comes back off this surgery,
he's going to be a middle of the order, good power hitter for you. So you're getting 2 players for the price of one.
Right.
You're getting 2. You're not getting a $70 million a year player. You're getting 2 $35 million a year players. What you're really getting. And so in that, if you look at it from that perspective, it's not a bad financial deal if you consider him 2 players, which he basically is. But to me,
what about the structure of the deal? Does that raise red flags moving forward?
A little bit.
I mean, that's really smoke and mirrors, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's not really. It is a $700 million deal, but it isn't a $700 million deal.
Yeah.
And he was okay with that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to, and that was what everybody was talking about, is that he made that proposal to the Braves, the Blue Jays, the same thing, and nobody wanted that deal. And the Dodgers said, we'll take it. Of course, the government will take about 3/4 of that money by the time it's all said and done. So.
Again, with Shohei Ohtani, to me, he's not a player that puts you over the top in a world championship. And if I'm going to pay that kind of money for somebody, that's what I'm looking for.
And what's your reasoning behind that?
Because I think the guy who puts you over the top for a world championship is an ace
pitcher,
late season, postseason pitcher.
Justin Verlander.
Or
somebody like that.
I think of the Braves back in '95 when they traded for Fred McGriff, right? Mm-hmm. Fred McGriff's the guy that puts you over the top. What are you missing? You're missing a guy that's going to hit fourth, drive 30 balls out every year, and drive in 100 runs.
Right. Why can't Shohei Ohtani be that guy?
Because he's got to split time with the 2 things, right?
Yeah. What if he becomes just the one player? What if in 2 years, because he's not going to try pitching this year, it'd be 25.
Yeah.
What if he comes back and it's not there?
And Freddie was supposed to be that when he went there, wasn't
he? He was.
That's what Freddie Freeman was supposed to be. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a big believer in the Dodgers organization.
Well, I just don't like them.
I know they like to spend money, but they don't seem to get anywhere with it. And,
right.
How many times did we watch Clayton Kershaw waste the season?
They might have signed him too.
Might have signed Sammy. He might be over there singing right now.
No doubt. So interesting that take. That's had the headlines for the last several days, and again, it was off the hoof, kind of shocking, but. When you kind of sift through all the smoke, it really isn't really what it was. All right, so on this day, you said it, there was a 30 for 30 after the Heisman presentation this past Saturday on Charles Woodson and Peyton Manning. That to me, you go back and everybody goes, well, who's some players that got kind of, I guess, screwed, for lack of a better term, should have won Heisman, didn't. Peyton Manning's number 1 on my list.
He's number 1 on mine too, because he was inarguably the best player in college football that year.
He lost to Florida.
Yeah.
Won the SEC championship against Auburn, but just did not. I guess the Michigan and Charles Woodson media fire.
Yeah.
It just picked up because he was a two-way guy, and there was so much.
He wasn't a two-way guy.
I know, but they tried to build into that.
They put him out there to make the Heisman case, right? We'll stick him at wide receiver and we'll throw him a hitch every now and then.
That's what it was.
I mean, that's basically what it was. Now he was a great kick returner too.
There was such a push about defensive players never getting any recognition.
And it's nothing against Charles Woodson, who's a great Hall of Fame player. But yeah, Peyton Manning was the better player that year.
And that was in 1997, Woodson winning that Heisman. 99, Ron Dane wins the Heisman for Wisconsin. Big-time running back there. In 2003, Jason White wins the Heisman for Oklahoma. I wouldn't.
44 touchdowns, something crazy that year, but that was kind of a system thing to me.
This day in 2007, the Mitchell Report is publicly released, listing the names of 89 players that presumably used steroids. 2010, War Eagle Cam Newton wins the Heisman. 2014, Marcus Mariota wins a Heisman. In 2015, Derrick Henry wins for Alabama. Got all these birthdays on here, but why not just skip to the main one? Taylor Swift, right?
Is it Taylor Swift's birthday?
She's turning 34 today.
Happy birthday,
can you
T.
believe
Swift.
we're all talking about Taylor Swift on a sports show?
Yes.
Travis Kelce.
She is owning popular culture.
Well, Travis Kelce's supposedly going to be throwing the biggest birthday party you can throw.
I would imagine, yeah.
How else do you not?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Perform at Taylor
I don't
Swift's
know. I don't. She may perform at her own
she
party.
might, yeah.
So anyway, interesting stuff. But that's going to wrap it up here for the Auburn Blitz. Kudos to all the rest of you out there that have birthdays today. But unfortunately, you share it with Taylor Swift, so she trumps you,
there you go.
all the way across. For JJ, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you tomorrow.